Yep, we're still talking about this game. And yes, this game is still going strong. And not just going strong, you do realize that absolute majority of the game, AA, AAA, doesn't matter, get the most amount of players during its launch, right? Especially if it's a sequel of the game. Especially if it's a sequel of beloved game. But this game, it did not just beat its concurrent player numbers of launch almost a decade since its release, it doubled its players. And not just that, its average concurrent players is now more than peak concurrent players during its launch. I have no idea how this game is doing that. It's one of the most top played, top selling, and one of the most just top games of the Steam even today, almost a decade after its release. So if you're asking whether this game is worth buying or not, let me actually give you the answer to that question. Oh, first things first, for the three of you who didn't read the title of the video, we're talking about Hearts of Iron 4. Second, the answer to the question whether it's worth it or not, yes, it was worth it when it's launched, and it's just becoming better and better and better and bigger and bigger and bigger, and with more players, with better players, with more veteran players, more hardcore players, this game is becoming better and better even for the beginners. Because there is more content, not just in-game, but outside of the game. There are more mods, there are more people covering this, there are more content creators talking about this, and it has never been better time to jump into this game than ever. So yes, if you want the answer right away to the question whether Hearts of Iron 4 is worth it or not, the answer is overwhelming yes. Despite its shortcomings, despite its downsides, despite its heavy learning curve, you just need to try this, especially with the low price that it's asking for it. But there are things that you need to know before you're gonna jump, because you need to have a correct expectations, because otherwise the numbers that I talked about right now will simply lie to you, and you will have wrong expectations and will burn yourself because of this. So yeah, let's talk about in details why Hearts of Iron 4 is worth it and who is it worth for. So first things first, what is Hearts of Iron 4? Well, Hearts of Iron 4 is a grand strategy game which plunges you into the heart of World War II, offering an unparalleled strategic experience that spans diplomacy, warfare, and domestic management. You're tasked with leading a nation through turbulent times, balancing military expansion, technological progress, and political maneuvering. And by nation, I mean literally any nation of the world. You have an entire world map where the game is actually happening, and if you didn't know how grand strategy works, well, you're playing exclusively on a world map, and you're free to choose any nation that you want that existed during these times. Well, you also can choose the nations that did not exist during that times, but you can do that with the help of mods that we're going to talk about in a second as well. And with the game's extensive research tree system, historically inspired events, and national focus trees, creating a living, breathing world where every decision can reshape the course of history. And at its core, Hearts of Iron 4 is as much about statecraft as it is about warfare. The game challenges you to navigate intricate political landscapes, manage the resource scarcity, and conduct large-scale military campaigns across multiple fronts. Whether you're engaging in a deep diplomatic negotiations or commanding massive armies in a detailed tactical battles, the decision-making process is both challenging and immensely rewarding. And because of its recent quality of life improvements and balanced patches which have refined systems, ensuring the gameplay remains fluid and accessible without sacrificing strategic depth. And for some of you who didn't understand what this game is all about, well, basically it's all about taking your nation through the World War II, while also controlling basically every aspect of your nation. But to understand how this works, let me talk about the gameplay loop and how it actually plays. So first things first, you begin by choosing your nation and shaping its destiny through national focus trees. Set policies, form alliances, and manage resources to build a robust wartime economy. Each decision influences your military capabilities and domestic stability, creating a dynamic environment where long-term planning is essential. After that, you're engaging in diplomacy and strategic planning, and you're engaging it with other nations in a complex web of diplomacy, negotiate alliances, forge trade deals, or prepare for inevitable conflicts. The game's deep diplomatic system forces you to constantly adapt your strategy based on shifting global politics and unexpected events. And once the diplomatic groundwork is laid, well, you should prepare for combat. You organize divisions, plan offensive operations, and conduct intricate battles across diverse terrains, from a frozen tundra of Eastern Europe to arid deserts of North Africa. The game's real-time pause function allows you to issue orders with precision, making tactical mastery a key element of success. And you also invest in military technology, research new doctrines, and upgrade your equipment to keep pace with evolving warfare. The iterative cycle cycle of planning and combat and technological development ensures that no two campaigns are alike, rewarding adaptability and long-term strategic planning. Now, this all sounds that you need to actually follow historical reality of World War II. How was it actually happening? Well, it's actually not the case. You're free to change in a way that you want your nation to go anytime that you want. Yes, it will have its own consequences, and in most cases it will be completely unpredictable on what will actually happen with your nation or with the entire war or entire world. But if you want to see the alternate realities, the alternate history events, you can actually take part into those. And yeah, technically you are not limited in a war within Europe only. You can actually go and start fighting anywhere that you want and face the consequences of that as well. So that's the reason why game is surviving for that long? Well, kinda is, but that's not all. Well, you see, game has the gameplay loop that allows you to play single campaigns for really long time and then replay exactly the same campaign for exact the same nation, but everything will be different now. Because every small decision branches out into something completely different and affecting AI or anyone else or in a multiplayer, any other nations in completely different ways. Basically making every single playthrough completely different. Yes, in the beginning, they might feel the same, but closer to the mid-game, it will be completely different every single time, allowing people to replay these games over and over and over and over again and face different challenges. And this replayability factor also affects why this game is still worth it today. But that's not all. One of the Heart of Iron 4's enduring strengths is its robust modding scene. Players have created thousands of mods that range from total conversions and historical overhauls to quality of life tweaks and new scenarios. This vibrant community ensures that the game remains fresh, offering countless ways to customize and expand your experience. And for many people, modding has become the essential part of the game, so much so that they cannot play vanilla anymore. And that also creates another reason why this game is so long. I mean long in its life cycle. But not just that, Paradox is also fully supporting this game a lot by constantly releasing DLCs and expansions for this game to this day. And with that DLC and expansions, we are moving to the very important part of the discussion, and it is, well, DLCs and their pricing. You see, almost a decade of DLCs, cosmetic packs, expansions creates a lot of, well, content that costs a lot of money. You see, Paradox could go with the route of No Man's Sky and release everything that they add as a free updates, but they didn't, because they realized that the audience that they have is very hardcore and they're willing to pay for this content. I don't necessarily agree that they are doing the right thing, but I understand why they are doing this, and so far it has worked for them financially wise. The game is still going strong and is making money because devs are actually supporting it. And for the veteran players, it's not that big of an issue. For the people who have played this for years, they accumulated all the expansions by buying them one by one or on sales. But what about the newer player? The player who just joined the game? When they will see that game costs around 10 bucks, sometimes even cheaper, sometimes a bit more expensive, they want to buy it. But as soon as they will scroll a little bit down and see hundreds of dollars worth of content, it might be a big turnoff for them. So what should they do? Well, if they see this and if they feel like this, they're not wrong, except there is one solution for that. Paradox actually added the subscription for the DLCs. Yeah, I know, paying more money and paying monthly does not feel right. Yeah, I understand this. I'm with you with that. But if you want to feel and experience this game to the max, not to the fullest, to the max, because even a base game is good enough for the beginners, paying $5-6 bucks a month for hundreds of dollars worth of DLCs, if you know that you're gonna play them for not that long, or maybe you're gonna be on again and off again and you don't want to pay hundreds of dollars for them, is not a bad choice. So if you're just starting this, instead of buying all those DLCs, I suggest you just, well, pay for subscription and get over with it. Just play for subscription and enjoy the game, pay for a few months and then just leave it. If you don't want to play this again, if you don't want to play this anymore. But then if you will, well, then start buying DLCs and expansions one by one if you don't want to continue paying this constantly. And speaking of pricing, how much game will actually cost you? Well, game's full price is actually $49.99. Yes, they actually made it more expensive because a year ago it was $39.99 for the full price. I really do not like that anyone is increasing the base price of the game, especially the old games. And there is a big downvote for Paradox for that. That was a dick move. I did not like that. And because of this, the cheapest price that you can get this game for is $15 now instead of $10. Again, dick move, Paradox. But is it worth it for the $15? It still is. It's still an amazing game with a lot of content even without any DLCs, and it's worth it. And it's more worth it because of its community. community. Now, people were mad when I said that Hearts of Iron 4 had a healthy community. Well, yeah, when you're playing 10,000 hours of a single game, especially about World War II, you cannot be healthy. That's what most of the Hearts of Iron 4 think. But by healthy, I mean that there are a lot of different types of people who are playing this game, and they are actually quite welcoming to the new players. Welcoming, well, as welcoming as World War II game-loving community can be. You will find a lot of people to play with if you want to play this in the co-op or in the campaigns or in the multiplayer matches. You're gonna find a lot of people, a lot of content creators who are creating amazing content, teaching you how to play this game, because yeah, this game is not easy to learn. There are a lot of people who will share a lot of great moments with you in this game, and there are a lot of people who will make you love this game with your whole heart. And yeah, this is what I mean by healthy. I don't mean mentally healthy, I mean just healthy as a community. Physically healthy at least, more or less. So yeah, if you haven't started this game, you might as well just jump on it, because you are not gonna regret it, at least for some time. Then you're gonna hate yourself for playing this game for 1,000 hours. That's how it goes, that's normal. And this video is sponsored by channel's partner and supporter, Instant Gaming. If you want best games for the best prices all the time, all year round, without waiting for any sales, Instant Gaming is the way to go. You can find all types of games for all the different platforms, and most importantly for the cheapest prices possible. And I also partner with Instant Gaming for epic game giveaway of your choice. So click the link in the description down below for your chance to win. Thanks to Instant Gaming for their support, and now let's get back to the video. And if you like strategy games, I have one hidden gem for you that you might enjoy, and it is Door Kickers 2, the thing that actually surprised me and I think you will like as well. But if you prefer another game that you will help yourself for even more, you can try Project Zomboid right here. And don't forget to subscribe right here as well. This is for today, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care.